In the 17th century, when Hume generated the problem of induction, he was primarily concerned with the role of induction in causal reasoning. We frequently use induction when we move from observing a correlation between temporally sequential properties or events to the conclusion that the first in the sequence is the cause of the second. I heat the copper rod and it expands. If I do this repeatedly and the rod expands with sufficient regularity, I will feel justified in concluding that heating the rod causes it to expand. What could be simpler? But, as Hume would have said, in drawing this conclusion, I go well beyond experience and observation. In attributing a causal connection, I am in fact making a strong claim. I'm claiming that the relationship between the two events is necessary, that had the rod not been heated, it would not have expanded, that the rod's expanding is dependent upon its being heated. But how do I know this, Hume asked? It's not a conceptual truth that heating copper causes it to expand. There's no contradiction in supposing that heating the rod does not cause it to expand. So it's not deductively certain that the one is the cause of the other. But nor can the causal claim be inductively established, because I can only conclude on the basis of past observations that heating a copper rod will, in all future cases, be followed by the rod's expanding, if I suppose that the future will resemble the past. But, as we have seen, it's circular to presuppose when drawing an inductive inference that nature is uniform, when the claim that nature is uniform itself would have to be inductively justified. Hume himself could see no way around this, and true to his strict empiricist principles, thought that when we talk about one thing causing another, all that we can reasonably mean is that we observe a constant conjunction between the types of events that appear in a temporal sequence. Thus, all I can mean by saying that heating the copper rod causes it to expand is that I observe a regularity between copper rods being heated and copper rods expanding. Hume was in many ways an instrumentalist. He thought that regarding causation as nothing more than a statistical regularity was sufficient for all practical purposes. Many philosophers today think that Hume was basically correct. But there are also some clear limitations with the Humean approach to causation. Can causation be analysed in terms of statistical regularities? Well, that's contentious. Here are some counter-considerations. Some causes appear to be irregular or imperfect. We think that smoking cigarettes causes lung cancer, but not every smoker will get lung cancer, and not every person with lung cancer smokes. Some regularities don't seem to be causes. More often than not, when someone smokes a cigarette, they light a match. But it seems odd to then say that lighting matches causes cancer. Some regularities are difficult to separate in time. Atmospheric pressure rises, and so at the same time does the mercury in a barometer. Surely we want to say that the rise in atmospheric pressure causes the mercury to rise and not the other way round. But what on the Humean view entitles us to draw that conclusion?